Hi guys, it's Mel and Lisa here with Beachucation.com and Fancy Flat JT.
Hey.
He's rocking the ear cuff because we just shot a class on Facebook Live on ear cuffs and toe ring.
So they're made basically the same. We're going to show you what tools to use, what thickness of metal to use, and how long to cut it. A little bit different for ear cuffs and toe rings, but very similar to making an adjustable ring. So check it out. And if you are watching it on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you like the video and consider subscribing. So here is a lot of goodies. I did a lot of testing so that I could figure out the right size for you guys.
It's so beautiful. I just love it.
Thank you. So what I found to be the ideal size is 1.25 inches long. And that is what this guy is, and this guy, and I'm going to explain this weird shape. Let me do it here.
Oh yeah, of course.
This guy is 1.25, but it's copper. I think this is 17 gauge. This is our flat wire that we sell by the foot. This I found to be too thick for an ear cuff because it was hard to like open, like right,
okay.
And then pinch, and then you're going to be pinching so hard you could hurt yourself. But what I like to do whenever I'm designing is I do practice pieces like this, and I mark the size so that when I find the perfect size, I have it here and like, oh yeah, this was the perfect one. I tried it on. It's 1.25. You know. So, I mean, the thickness will come into play there where you'll need it a little bit longer if it's really thick. But again, I think that this is great for a toe ring. This particular.
Oh, okay.
This is a little short. Well, maybe if you have tiny toes, I don't know, 1.25. Again, with the toe rings, I would say between 1.5 and 2 inches worked super good. All right, so this one is the one we're going to make today because this one was perfect. It was 1.25 inches long by, I think, 0.2 or 0.25 width this way. And
is that aluminum?
14 gauge. No, this is sterling.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
The sterling is pretty inexpensive. The aluminum, all I had, I didn't cut any sheet, so all I had was the 18 gauge, and it was great for a toe ring, but a little thick for opening and closing for an ear cuff. So I would cut that from sheet, like 24.
I'm in love with the moon and
I know, and
mountains one you did.
I'm
That's
just
beautiful.
now remembering that I meant to dangle a star charm from this. I forgot. So this one is brass, and I punched the hole after I shaped it. And I punched the hole low because you want it to just dangle off of there. So you're going to want to attach your charm with a very small jump ring so that it's not so bulky that it changes the way that this fits on your ear. We're going to stamp it, we're going to shape it, all that good stuff. So let's get this stuff off of here. Oh, I just wanted to point out this guy and this guy. These are thin rectangles, and I think they are like 1.6 inches long, but they're perfect if you just cut the holes off, you know, with a shear, and then cut it to 1.25 and stamp shape it, whatever you're going to do. These are so thin and small, I really would be careful of putting a word on there because if you get a word with like a long line, it's going to make it weak and it's going to bend instead of shape.
I'm kind of loving the designs you did anyway.
Thank you.
Very lovely.
All right, so yeah, this was made out of this. This is gold fill. I just used the little fan stamp, which I have right here. Okay, so let's get these guys out of here. Let's do it on copper. Why not? And these are the 1.25 rectangles. Okay, so let's just stamp it real quick just because, you know, we're hanging out. You guys can tell us what's going on. What's up? Okay, this is the Whimsical Fan, one of my favorites. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Gotta have the sound effects. And this is kind of hard to stamp because I have a camera right in my face, but awesome.
Aubrey, you had asked if we tried the 14 gauge flat wire, but I think that would just be a little too thick.
Yes, I know where you're going with that because we sell that in ring blanks. I think it'd be great for a toe ring and an ear cuff. It's a little hard to adjust. So it's a little difficult.
Very thick.
Okay, the reason I'm doing this stamp is because everyone's always asking about this design where we do the stamps or the fans over and over again.
You create a little scallop.
I just want to show
It's so pretty.
how I get it. So when I line my stamp up to put it in the next spot, you're going to see that I almost overlapped the first design. I don't know if you guys can see, it's kind of shadowed there. Like that.
Oh,
see how it looks like it's covering it?
It does.
And then puts it in the perfect spot.
Oh, that's cute.
Thanks. And this is a really fun pattern and something I would suggest you practice first.
Very pretty.
Cute, huh?
It's very Moroccan.
Yeah. So then if you want, which I'm not going to, you could put black in the grooves. And let me see if I can zoom in even more.
I feel like with copper, within a couple days, it's probably going to be a little blackened anyway.
Yeah, totally. I'll turn it this way, see what it looks like. Cute.
That's cute.
Okay. My tool of choice for shaping these bad boys. Well, first of all, let me just go over. If this was a long piece of metal, let's use this as an example, and you had to cut it, I like these Xeron shears as well as the scissor shears. I mean, not the scissor shears. Those are a little hard on your hand. Those work great on thin metal like this. These are the French shears, and they're both on the link. But let's say I cut this to a certain size, which I'm not going to measure it.
Sandra had asked, what do you practice on? I think Lisa just meant even if you want to practice on a rectangle that's copper or aluminum before you go to the sterling. Or
if you're practicing patterns like that, just copper sheet, maybe something inexpensive. So if you do trim something like this, even a larger rectangle, it's going to be pretty sharp. So I'm actually going to do it on this one because that little thin guy is really hard to see. Let's say I just trim this and I wanted the ends to sort of match, and this is really sharp like that. You need to file it round, but what I do first is I cut a little bit off the edge with eye protection on, please, like that. So you can see the shape is already almost there. That's just a lot of metal that I now don't have to remove with my file.
Smart.
So you can see the motion I'm doing with the file to round it like that.
You always go in one direction, right?
Yeah, that preserves the life of your file. This is a student file from an old class. It's so dull. I'm going to be here all day. So see how it's nice and rounded now?
Yeah.
And then I'd come in, here's one of the buffing blocks that we just got in, this or sandpaper or whatever, and just sort of going all the way around it. And it's really soft now.
That's awesome.
Touch it, Mel, so that they believe me.
Oh, it's like butter.
Like butter.
But really, that didn't take you too long.
Yeah, now the ends match up. Well, actually, this one isn't very rounded, but I just wanted to show you, if you had to cut it, how to make it
smooth,
not painful. Now, this one that we just did, it was already punched. It's just a blank that we carry, so the ends aren't sharp at all, but I could soften them if I want. So my tool of choice for shaping is the Wrap and Tap pliers. This is the medium Wrap and Tap, and this bottom barrel here is perfect for making this ear cuff shape. If you were doing a toe ring, I would use the large Wrap and Tap, and I work on the top and middle barrel because that side's perfect. So just like shaping a ring, an adjustable ring, you're going to want to first do the ends. So I'm holding it within the jaw of the pliers, not poking up like this, otherwise I'll get a flat spot, but hidden in there to keep it nice and round. Just curl it a little bit, one side then the other. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because if you go to curl this whole thing, that last little end is hard to get around if you just have a teeny bit. So now you already have it started. So that guy's curled around. I'm just going to continue. I'm trying to move it so you guys can see better.
That's such a perfect
scene.
Perfect. Yeah, that looks
yeah, this
nice.
is a great shape. And this, because it's 24 gauge, I can open it a little bit. Once it's on my ear, I can pinch it a little bit. This is one I made out of 18 gauge aluminum. A pretty pattern. And it was very hard to shape. I mean, shaping was okay, but opening and closing,
oh yeah, it looks like it would be
super
hard.
difficult. So one thing, it may be the one that I have on my ear, which is why I can't find it. One thing I found helpful with these is I then go to the smaller barrel, or you could start on the smaller barrel, the second one in maybe, and I bring the ends in a little bit more. So it's kind of a weird shape, but that's actually how it has to be to sit correctly in your ear.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because your ear, you have, it like goes in and then it goes under the inside of your ear and the outside of your ear. So having them come in like that is actually really helpful. And I found it helped a lot with the fit.
So that it won't come off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So just remember, you're going to put it on your ear and then squeeze it to fit. Otherwise, it kind of flops down, and we can show you that in a minute. Any questions?
Well, we had a question, and Cody had kind of answered that too, where someone said, will the copper turn your skin green?
That depends on you. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
And will the Renaissance wax, prevent that? But I do think if you have a tendency to be allergic to copper in that way, that I would go with aluminum or sterling or a different metal.
Continue to leave comments, and we will check in and answer questions. And we look forward to seeing your ear cuffs.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.